Okay, today's video is going to be about the Ecoflow Delta Pro 3, not the cat. For all the proper specs and everything, check out some of my other videos. I won't run through it all again, but I will throw up the discount code on the side of the screen for those that don't want to get all the way through to the end of the video for the codes, etc., which can get you 6% off most items. So yeah, here we go. We're going to do something a little different today. We're going to plug in a lot of gear into the Ecoflow Delta Pro 3. I've run some cables out the window, and one of the cables will go to my A-van downstairs. That'll be the orange cable, and in the back of the unit I've got plugged in the dual fuel generator, so the black cable once again goes out the window, and below that I've plugged in the alternator charger, which is this fella sitting up here. So normally most people have that mounted in their car, and they'll use it to charge the Ecoflow products as the compatible products, of course, that as they drive along to and from camping sites and what have you. For today, I've just run it to a battery that I've got sitting here inside the house. I've just added a circuit breaker to it, basically just to use as a switch as I want to switch it on and off. But it comes with an A&L fuse and proper cabling, very good quality cabling actually, that you run through your vehicle. But a lot of people have already realised that the alternator charger opens up a lot of possibilities in other ways. For example, if you've got an existing solar system at home that you're just running from deep cycle batteries to panels, or you know, wind turbine, whatever, you know, you can actually use that alternator charger to interface and flow power in either direction between the Delta Pro 3 or, you know, Delta 2 Max, etc. So so yeah, it opens up a lot of possibilities. Now, one of the things I want to mention is the Delta Pro 3 actually has 15 amp sockets on the front of it. So the earth pin is physically longer. Now, if you compare a standard 10 amp plug with a 15 amp one, you'll notice a difference. So that's 15 amp and that one's a 10 amp. It's a lot smaller. But the excellent thing, we're so lucky in Australia, so those 15 amp sockets, we can, for example, plug that straight in, like so, into the 15 amp socket. Now that's going down to the A-van, out through the window. And this other one here, the 10 amp one, they still fit. And they're perfectly safe, and this is how our power system is designed in Australia. So the lesser current leads and plugs are all backwards compatible. But you can't go the other way, of course. So that 15 amp earth pin will not physically fit in a 10 amp socket. And that's how it all works here. Can't find the hole. Story of my life. Where is it? There we go. The white one was blocking the view. Yeah, okay, so that's the setup for today. I'm going to do a few different things. I'm going to run power from the unit, and I'm going to load it up with a lot of stuff and see if I can actually trip it out so it'll handle up to 4,000 watts on your AC output. It will surge up to 8,000, and while I'm giving figures, the input charging will go up to 7,000 concurrently with all inputs. So we're going to play around with that too. We're going to have the alternator charger feeding from that battery over there into the unit. We're going to have the dual fuel generator running into it, and I will also use that Delta 2 Max to pump power into the unit, into its AC socket on the back that's wired in as well. And I'll do that so I can actually gradually creep up the current that it's allowing, the wattage it's allowing to pull into the unit, until you know, we get up pretty high. We get quite a few things running at once. And the same for the output. I'll use the output of this to feed back into the unit to draw current, and I'll gradually raise that up until we trip the unit out till we get past its 4,000. So that's about it. Oh no, one more thing. To simulate, it's getting to the end of the day, so the solar's just about done anyhow. But to simulate solar input, I'll also plug into one of the solar ports, well, the one that also takes your car input, just with this lead that's supplied with some of the other gear, not the Delta Pro 3, and I'll chuck the River 2 on it. I'll just feed from the cigarette lighter as if it's a solar input or a car charger input, and we'll be feeding in power from all sorts of things all at once. So okay, here we go. So this is what's outside. I've got the dual fuel generator. This is actually a new one that I'm still running in. It's only got a couple of hours on it. It's hooked up to the Delta Pro 3 via the DC cable, the XT150 cable. On the other end there's an adapter to allow it to plug into the Delta Pro 3. So that cable just goes through the window and comes out the other side, as we saw earlier on. Your orange 15 amp power lead, it's running down and across and into the A van, so it's plugged directly into the A van. We've also got down on the grass a couple of 250 watt grid panels, but the cable won't quite reach, and they're shaded today, so to simulate that I'm just going to plug the River 2's 12 volt into the Delta Pro 3. So I'll head back in. Now I should also mention that one of the great things about having those 15 amp sockets on the front of the Delta Pro 3, you don't have to worry about these adapters and things to go from your 10 amp house socket to your 15 amp plug, because most of your caravans are basically 15 amp, and of course when you convert, you've got to have a 10 amp breaker on it as well, and you're limited to 10 amps into your van instead of the full 15 amps. So you know, the Delta Pro 3 having the 15 amp plugs on the front of it, it gets past that problem straight away. You can just plug either straight in. Oh, the other quick thing I'll mention is the Delta Pro 3 has its own built-in ground fault protection, which you can actually switch out as well within the app if you want to run an external one. So I'll put some info on the side about that as well. Okay, I think we're ready to go, so let's start feeding it some juice. Keep in mind the generator hasn't been run for a while, so it may take a few starts before the fuel gets into it. So I've got another phone over here that I'm going to control it by, and hopefully I'll be able to put this screen beside this video when I edit later. So we'll start off by finding the generator, and we'll go into it and we'll kick it up. The slider, oh there we go. It's churning over, getting the petrol up. There it goes, second start. Once you've run it, it's just bang, they start straight away. So we should see the output ramp up to about 1,000 watts. I've just set it for that for the time being, while it's still quite cold. And you can see on the display that we're just below the 1,000 watts. If we go into the app, you can see the input charging rate. Now I haven't done this before, so you're going to see it all firsthand, see what works and what doesn't work. So that seems quite happy. We're now going to go into the alternator charger, and we're going to tell it to reverse charge back to the Delta Pro 3 from the battery I've got hooked up. So we'll do that. And it's drawing in a measly 46 watts. I don't know how good that battery is, by the way. It's sat for years, so yeah, okay, well, we'll see what happens with that. But anyhow, for the purpose of the oh no, sorry, I've selected the wrong thing. Okay, like I said, you're seeing this for the first time. I'm supposed to actually, that was still charging the battery, so I'm supposed to actually pick that one from the car. So now it's coming from the battery. In fact, I'll drop that back a bit because I really don't know how good that battery is. So just for demonstration's purpose, although you did see it start to ramp up towards the 400 watts, but for the time being we'll feed 100 watts in from the battery. So we've now got generator charging the Delta Pro 3, and we've also got the alternator charger up here pulling 100 watts in from that battery. So let's also add the 12 volt input, or the solar input. So that should add another 8 watts to the charge input. Sorry, 8 amps. So there we have the rivers pumping in about 87 extra watts into there. Then lastly, let's throw in, I think I've got it set to about 400 watts. So let's throw in AC charging on top of all that, by simply turning on the inverter of that Delta 2 Max up here, and you can hear a bit of clicking going on with the Delta Pro 3, and we're now up over the 1500 watts for a brief second there. It's just sort of fluctuating around a bit. It's probably the generator. And of course we can lift that up considerably by changing the setting in the Delta Pro 3. Sorry if this is boring, but as I say, this is the first time I've run through this, so it's probably a little bit long-winded. So okay, on our AC charging speed, we can now start to lift that up. So that's now 800 watts coming in from the AC charging. Take it up a bit further, 1300 watts. And a bit further, 1900 watts. And we'll take it to the max, 2300 watts coming from AC. So what I've been able to provide it here, I could lift the generator up more, I could lift the alternator charger up more. In fact, yeah, bugger it, let's do it. Quickly run backwards and forwards through things. So we'll leave the alternator charger to last, since I don't know how good that battery is. So we'll up the generator's input, take it up to about 1600 watts, and we'll up the alternator charger maximum output power. We'll take it up all the way to 800. I don't think that battery's going to be too impressed with that. In fact, I think it's cut out. It has cut out. Bear with me. Change a couple more settings, see if I can trick it into giving its last. No. Get any more out of it? No, poor old battery's not happy. Well, anyhow, so currently we're feeding in just under 4000 watts into the unit. So we'll drop off the Delta Pro's inverter so I don't drain that battery unnecessarily, and we'll just leave the generator to do its thing to start topping up the Delta Pro 3. I'll also put a setting back in here so I don't forget for later. And okay, so that's about it for charging it from multiple sources. I didn't get it up to the 7000, but you get the idea. Anything you can feed into it, it'll handle it all up to 7000 watts. So yeah, that's it for the charging side of things. So just to recap, we've got a generator running outside that window, dual fuel Ecoflow generator, auto start, all that sort of capability, auto start, auto stop. We charged via AC up to 2300 watts from that Delta 2 Max there, and we also drew from that poor old battery until I pushed it too hard. Oh, and of course the river, let's not forget the little river. It supplied an extra 8 amps of 12 volt into the solar input on the back. So the next thing is we'll go down to the A van and we'll start sucking power back in the other direction out of the unit. We'll load it up with quite a few things, and we'll see what we can achieve there. So after all that, I reset it, and I did actually manage to get it to draw 400 watts from that old battery, but you can see by the 11.7 volts at the top that the battery's buckled down. The battery's pretty much had it. It's not holding its weight. But for the demonstration, I thought I'd add this into the video so you can see that it did actually manage to work. Okay, so we're going to head down to the A van now. The generator's whizzing away up there. Hop inside. Good old A van. Now we're going to start loading up the Delta Pro 3 with running a few things down here. Just bear with me a sec. Okay, so we'll start loading it up. That 100 watts out is I'm recharging what's left of that battery upstairs via the alternator charger. So just bear with me and start whacking a few things on here. These fridges, these three-way fridges, are very hungry, so I think it's about 175 watts. So we turn him on as well. They basically work off a heating element, so that'll draw a bit more current. Oh, actually, I don't think it's turned on at the plug. Hang on a second. Okay, let's try that again. It helps if I actually supply power to the van. So we turn the inverter on. There we go. The van's now drawing power. The microwave oven's lit up. We'll turn the three-way fridge on. And once again, I'll overlay this beside the video if I can. So we're up to 299 watts now. So let's turn on the air conditioner. It's a hungry gutted thing, I tell you. There we go, we're creeping up the power again. Slowly creeping up. 360 odd watts. Make sure it's turned up all the way. Okay, we're up to 858. Well, it was 848, whatever. Okay, we'll head upstairs again now. So back upstairs, looking at the front of the unit, you can see it's getting 1592 watts roughly in, and the output's just under the 1000 watts. So what we'll do now is we'll up the ante a bit, and we will charge the Delta 2 Max, the second Delta 2 Max, from the Delta Pro 3. Sorry, it's starting to sound a bit like a bit of a puzzle, isn't it? Okay, I've got to think what I'm doing here. So I'm just going into the energy management side of the second Delta 2 Max, and we'll change a setting, and that should kick it into happiness and want to start drawing power, which it is from the Delta Pro 3. So if we go back, we can now see that we're increasing the load once again. 1223 watts out. So let's go back and lift the input power. We'll run that up. So we changed the AC charging speed on the second Delta 2 Max. It's currently only set at 200 watts. So we'll run that up a bit more, jump it up to 500 watts. See it increasing up to 1000 watts. So this is constant output, mind you. 1500 watts. $2,000 watts. And there's your full 2,400. And we're not going to quite cap it out. So that's about the best I can do. I could be nasty to it and boil a kettle or something if you really want to see it trip. Shall we trip it? Yeah, what the hell, let's trip it. Go back to the main screen. Bear with me, I'll plug a kettle in. Okay, I actually went and brought the kettle in here so we can actually see on the app, which will be on the side hopefully, and also on the screen as we trip it. So let's turn the kettle on. See it racing up, 3788. Come on, you can do better than that. Geez, it just goes to show how powerful this thing is. Ha! I'm not going to be able to trip it. That's surprising. Oh, I know what's happening. The Delta 2 Max's battery is getting close to 100% full, so the charging rate will drop back. It wasn't quite quick enough. Okay, hang on a sec. Okay, we're going to add yet another load. I've just plugged the main Delta 2 Max in. So we'll jump into some settings for it. Okay, sorry, I hit the wrong button before. Hopefully this will work. So we just got to watch it don't hit the wrong button again. So we'll go into some settings, energy management, and we'll start it charging. In fact, I won't probably need the kettle now. So here we go, the output's creeping up again. And We'll change the AC charging speed. We'll go back to the Delta Pro 3. Now we should be close to being able to trip it with the jug. I'll do it with the jug so that you can actually see on the Delta Pro 3 is it... Oh, look at that! 4322. Will it cut out? Geez, it's holding nice at 4323. Well, that's amazing. It's not going to trip. Well, it just goes to show it's got a damn good inverter in it. You can hear the fan kicking up. Fortunately, the steam is coming from the kettle, not from the unit. And it's finished. So I'm sorry, folks. I didn't get to trip the overload after all. Okay, so that's about it for the day. I've packed everything away. Took me quite a while to edit up all the stuff. I'm new to all that side of things. I've only been playing for a couple of days. I could have shown the Wave 2 also running from the Delta Pro 3, but you know, it's nothing different. You just plug it in like I did with the Alternator charger and the dual fuel generator. So the video's long enough, I think. We'll leave it at that. I'll also include some photos of the adapter that adapts the XT 150 cables to plug into the back of the Delta Pro 3. I think that's about it. I'll also put some other photos and things up at the end of the video, and of course the normal discount codes and everything to save you guys a bit extra money. Yeah, I hope you found it interesting, not too long-winded. It sort of took me a bit of mucking around to make different things work. Oh, which reminds me, I did make a mistake earlier on. I didn't actually turn the fridge on in the AV, and I flicked the PowerPoint switch for the microwave instead, so that'll be why you didn't see any changes in current draw, etc. at that part of the video. I'll try to remember to add a caption or something to explain that. But yeah, so it's Betty bye time for this little girl, and we'll catch you next video.